Henry Ford put us on wheels, and we sell vehicles. That's still key. But at the same time, how do our vehicles and mobility address the needs going forward? And I think software, if anything, is going to be the key to doing that.
You really have to have three components, right? You have to have a smart infrastructure. You have to have the connectivity, right? You have to have a backbone. Many places have fiber optic lines. In Michigan, our urban areas all have fiber optic lines, but Michigan is 80% rural. Well, in those areas, we don't have fiber optic lines. So we got to figure out the connectivity in a rural area. How do you get that information back and forth? And then the third one is you have to have vehicles to drive through it. Because just if you build the infrastructure, there's nobody to drive through it, and you just wasted your money. From a public infrastructure perspective, whether you're a state, a county, or a city, we're used to building things that are in place for 20, 30 years. And we put traffic signals in place, and we don't go back to change them for 20 or 25 years. So when we're talking about technology, is a whole different mindset, because it's not going to last for 25 years. It's going to need to be upgraded in 2 or 3 years.
With the new technology, with software coming more and more into the picture, it's also a completely different life cycle when it comes to products. You have the vehicle that is developed within 5 years, on the market somewhere between 5 to 7 years, and then you have software which has maybe a lifespan of half a year, and then it has to be renewed, which also creates a huge opportunity for a manufacturer to keep the product updated.
We really have to balance the financial aspects of that and say, okay, well, what do we put in place? How do we enable it to be upgradable? You know, just like all of our phones and software, how do we enable that to happen so we're not spending money over and over and over again? I think one of the key barriers is making sure that we're investing at the right spot.
A lot of what we can learn from electronic consumer devices can be applied in an automobile and can be part of that. And certainly the experience of being in a vehicle, particularly if the vehicle's autonomous, is likely to involve all the things that you do with your communication devices that you own, your mobile devices.
Let's say you have a car which is 3-year-old, the navigation system and the operating system is 3-year-old nowadays. In the future, that's not possible anymore. A customer will not accept that to run such an old operating system in the vehicle. So the OEMs have to find a way to keep the vehicle updated. Even if you think about smartphones today, some people still have an iPhone 5, for instance, and but the software keeps it updated. It's still a new product all the time. And in a similar thinking, OEMs have to embark as well.
We're going to go through many stages of technology rollouts and more automation, more automated features. But I think where we get to eventually is the combination of driverless and shared vehicles. Let's call them machines, because they're going to be different. And those machines will serve people and they'll serve freight. And those vehicles will be orchestrated through these connected systems that we're working on. So that way we get a transformation in safety, we get a transformation in traffic efficiency, we get a transformation in energy consumption and in emissions. And of course, on top of all of that, we get a tremendous infusion of entrepreneurship in the new mobility space.
When we think about cars in the future, we need to think about them in the terms of connectivity. The vehicle needs to be able to interact with the street lights, the building that it passes, your home, even the consumer devices that are sitting in your pocket or you're wearing on your wrist. All of these things have to be able to talk to each other.
When you get to that level, you'll really see some interesting, fun things that can happen in the community. It can tell me if I pulled up to a mall and you wanted to drop the wife off and park the car yourself, it can communicate with the driving structure, and the structure can tell you where an available parking space is for you.
The car might even have to talk to another car, maybe from a different automaker. How do they communicate between each other, share information back and forth without sharing secrets? The future is about data, information moving from one place to the next and being made useful for us as human beings. In the tech sector, we call this IoT, or the Internet of Things. But for the automotive industry, it is the future.
That's great news, because all these companies are moving faster and faster to develop this technology, and that's what we love to see.
I am positive that the ability to like to drive will not be lost in the future. I'm just hoping it's not going to be an underground and closeted experience. I want to be able to smell hydrocarbons burning in the morning. I want to be able to feel the torque and hear the rumble of the engine. That's my future.